My Lords, the Honorable Chief Justice, Sri Gujjal Buyan, My Lords, the Honorable Judges, former Judges of the Honorable High Court, the Chairman of the Bar Council, the Additional Advocate General, the Additional Solicitor General of India, the Deputy Solicitor General, the Public Prosecutor, the President, Telangana High Court Advocates Association, the Registrars, the Director Judicial Academy, the Secretary, Telangana State Legal Services Authority, the law officers and other officers, respected senior members of the bar, and junior advocates, friends and family members of Dr. Justice Shameem Akther, ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered here today to bid farewell to one of the most scholarly judges of this Honorable Court, Honorable Justice Dr. Shameem Akther, who demits office on superannuation after a distinguished and fulfilling career on 31st December 2022. After tirelessly serving the judiciary for 2 decades. Honorable Justice Dr. Shameem Akther was born on 1st January 1961 in Nalgonda district to Srimati Rahimunnisa Begum and Sri Jan Muhammad. His Lordship graduated with a degree in commerce from Nagarjuna Government College, Nalgonda, and later on obtained law degree from Usmania University, University College of Law, Nagpur. His Lordship attained his master's degree in law from PG College of Law, Hyderabad in the year 1996. His Lordship was conferred his doctorate in law by Usmania University in the year 2006. His Lordship joined in the office of a senior advocate, Sri Muhammad Ali Advocate Nalgonda, and practiced extensively in civil, criminal and revenue laws from 1986 to 2002. His Lordship was appointed as District and Sessions Judge in the year 2002 and served in various judicial offices such as First Additional District Judge Khammam, Presiding Officer of Andhra Pradesh Waqf Tribunal at Hyderabad, Additional Director of Andhra Pradesh Judicial Academy at Secunderabad, Additional District Judge Narsaraopet, Guntur District, Principal District Judge Nizamabad, and Registrar Judicial High Court of Judicature at Hyderabad for the state of Telangana and the state of Andhra Pradesh. His Lordship was appointed as Judge of this Honorable Court on 17 January 2017. His Lordship married Srimati Gajala Anju and has been blessed with 2 children, Ms. Husna Shabnam and Mr. Muhammad Jishan Akhtar. Throughout his distinguished career as the Judge of this Honorable Court, Dr. Justice Shameem Akther has delivered several landmark judgments and decided crucial cases, a few of which deserves special mention. In Sandra Venkata Veerayya vs. State of Telangana 2022 SCC Online TS 1602, while dealing with a criminal revision petition, His Lordship delineated the contours of divisional jurisdiction of High Court and laid down that the object of the revisional jurisdiction is to set right a patent defect or an error of jurisdiction or law. There has to be a well-founded error, and it may not be appropriate for the court to scrutinize the orders which on the face of them bear a token of careful consideration and appear to be in accordance with law. Revisional jurisdiction can be invoked where the decisions under challenge are grossly erroneous, where there is non-compliance with the provision of law, where the findings recorded are based on no evidence, or where material evidence is ignored, or judicial discretion is exercised arbitrarily or perversely. Another well-accepted norm is that the revisional jurisdiction of the High Court is very limited and cannot be exercised in a routine manner. Revisional court has to confine itself to the legality and propriety of the findings of the subordinate court and as to whether the subordinate court acted within its jurisdiction. A revisional court has no jurisdiction to set aside the findings of facts recorded by the learned judge and impose its subjecture. Section 397 to 401 CRPC confer only limited power on the revisional court to the extent of satisfying about the legality, propriety or regularity of the proceedings or orders of the lower court and not to act like appellate court for the purposes including the recording of new finding of fact or fresh appraisal of evidence. In Raghunandan Rao vs. State of Telangana, Writ Petition 12352 of 2022, while deciding a petition seeking to stay the operation of the action of the Telangana Legislative Assembly, in suspending the petitioners from its service for the rest of the ongoing sessions. His Lordship observed that the constitutional system of government abhors absolutism, and it being the cardinal principle of our constitution that no one, however lofty, can claim to be the sole judge of the power given under the constitution, mere coordinate constitutional status or even the status of an exalted constitutional functionaries does not disentitle the constitutional court from exercising its jurisdiction of judicial review of actions which partake the character of judicial or quasi-judicial decision. The judicial review or the manner of exercise of power of contempt or privilege does not mean that the said jurisdiction is being usurped by the judicature. In Sheshasai Paper Boats Limited versus the Commercial Tax Officer Narayanguda Circle and others, WP number 23798 of 2003, where certain assessment orders of the Commercial Tax Officer were challenged by way of writ petition on the ground that Clause B of Section 5E of the AP General Sales Tax Act 1957 was read down by the Hon'ble Apex Court, holding that the situs of sale would be the place where the property in goods passes and not the place of location of the goods where they are put to use, and consequently the petition is entitled for refund of tax paid by it for the said assessment years. His Lordships, while allowing the petition, discussed the importance of Article 226 and stated that the power under Article 226 has to be exercised to effectuate the regime of law and not for abrogating it. Even while acting in exercise of the said constitutional power, the High Court cannot ignore the law, nor can it override it. The power under Article 226 of the Constitution of India is conceived to serve the ends of law and not to transgress them. And further, while referring to certain Supreme Court judgments, held that there is no need for the petitioner to file a separate suit before the civil court claiming refund, and the same can be adverted to in the writ petition itself. In A. Chandrasekhar and others versus State of Telangana and others, criminal petition number 1621 of 2021, while dismissing the petition filed to quash the proceedings in a criminal case on the ground that civil case was pending dealing with a similar matter, His Lordships observed that pendency of civil proceedings is no bar for criminal prosecution. His Lordships further eloquently stated that there may be some matters which are essentially civil in nature, and it is only with regard to such matters that this court discourages criminal prosecution. If it is found that the criminal complexion to a controversy has been lent deliberately with purpose, only to exert coercive pressure upon the party. In those matters, essential ingredients constituting penal offences would be found lacking by the court. On the contrary, the allegations made in the complaint prima facie constitute cognizable offences. This court does not scuttle the criminal prosecution simply on the ground of pendency of civil litigation emanating from the same set of facts. Civil cases are decided basing on the preponderance of probabilities in favor of either party, while the conviction or acquittal of accused in a criminal case depends upon the proof beyond reasonable doubt. The nature and methodology of standard of proof involved in civil and criminal proceedings are qualitatively different. Civil proceedings as well as the criminal proceedings are not always mutually exclusive in nature and can very well go together in appropriate cases. While deciding with the same case, His Lordships also held that when a report is lodged with the police alleging constitution of cognizable offences, and when no action has been taken by the police concerned on the said complaint, the aggrieved person has a right to file a private complaint under section 200 of CRPC before the magistrate concerned, and there is no necessity to file a copy of the complaint submitted to the police on earlier occasion. Without there being such copy, the magistrate is justified in referring the subject complaint under section 156(3) CRPC to the station house officer concerned for investigation and report. In Kamar versus State of Telangana and others, WP number 6562 of 2021, where an order of detention under the Preventive Detention Act was passed by the concerned authority, thereafter approved by the government against a sexual offender was challenged before the Hon'ble Court. His Lordships, while upholding the detention order on the ground that the detainee was a habitual sexual offender and his actions have the effect of disturbing the public order, aptly observed that since a woman or a girl in the tradition-bound society of India would be extremely reluctant to lodge a report with the police with regard to an incident which is likely to reflect on her chastity, and as she would be conscious of danger of being hated or being looked down by the society, including her own family members, relatives, friends and neighbors. The victims of sexual abuse and their relatives are hesitant to bring culprits to book, thus making it the duty of the courts to deal with such matters with care and sensitivity. Sexual violence against women, apart from being a dehumanizing act, is an unlawful intrusion into the right to privacy and sanctity of a female and offends her self-esteem and dignity. The courts are therefore expected to deal with cases of sexual abuse against women sternly and severely. Sexual abuse not only violates the victim's privacy and personal integrity, but inevitably causes serious psychological as well as physical harm. A murderer destroys the physical body of the victim, but a sexual assaulter degrades the very soul of a helpless female. The court therefore shoulder a greater responsibility while trying an accused on the charge of sexual abuse. To show mercy in such heinous crime would be a travesty of justice, and the plea for leniency would be wholly misplaced. His Lordship always gave the same patient hearing to the counsel appearing before him, be it a seasoned senior counsel or a very junior advocate. His Lordship encouraged the appearance of junior counsel to prepare and argue before His Lordship, and such an encouragement has done a great good to them in terms of confidence gained. His Lordship's contribution is immense to the field of law in clarifying and interpreting various substantive and procedural aspects of law, which reflects his keen attention to detail and the finer aspects of law, all of which have made him a very efficient and humane judge, contributing to his ability to deal with variety of subjects with the same ease and accuracy. An erudite scholar of law, embodiment of sincerity, hard work and simplicity, and above all a noble human being with a kind heart. The members of the bar shall be ever grateful for contribution of my lords to this institution, and shall cherish our experiences during our appearances before my lords. With heavy hearts we bid a farewell to a distinguished personality, a gentle soul and a legal luminary. It is always with mixed feelings that we bid adieu to one of our very own. On behalf of the bar, I request my lord to consider to be a part of this institution and continue to guide us even after retirement. My lord is a source of great encouragement for the entire bar and will be greatly missed. Though my Lord Justice Dr. Shameem Akther is parting with this institution as a sitting judge of this court, he always be in our hearts as a member of our family. I am sure that even after retirement, he would always be eager to lend his helping hand whenever this institution requires his services. I extend my best wishes and request my lords to continue to contribute through his immense knowledge to the field of law and thereby strengthen the institution and enrich the future generations. I and on behalf of all of my colleagues wish him good health and pray the Almighty to bestow all the strength and justice Dr. Shameem Akther in all his future endeavors. Thank you.
My esteemed colleagues on the bench, Mr. Prasad, Learned Advocate General for the State of Telangana, Mr. Raghunath, President, Telangana High Court Advocates Association, Learned Deputy Solicitor General of India, learned senior advocates, learned members of the bar, registrars of the High Court, Director of Judicial Academy, Law Secretary to the Government of Telangana, Member Secretary, Telangana State Legal Services Authority, Secretary, High Court Legal Aid Committee, officers and staff members of the High Court, press and media, Srimati Kajala Anjum and family members of Dr. Justice Shameem Akther, ladies and gentlemen. We have assembled here today to bid farewell to our beloved brother, Dr. Justice Shameem Akther, on the eve of his laying down of office. We all know the date of retirement, the day we take oath as a judge of the High Court. It is predetermined. Nonetheless, a farewell is always a humbling experience. It is humbling when we realize that it's time to say goodbye. No office is permanent, but still, it is a moment of revelation when we realize how short or how quickly our tenure is over. Dr. Justice Shameem Akther was born on 1st January 1961 at Nalgonda to late Srimati Rahimun Nisa Begum and late Sri Jan Muhammad. He did his graduation in BCom from Nagarjuna Government Degree College, Nalgonda, obtained law degree from University College of Law, Nagpur, did his LLM from PG College of Law, Bashirbagh, Hyderabad in the year 1996, and is a doctorate from Osmania University in the year 2006. He practiced actively in the civil, criminal and revenue side in the Nalgonda District Court from 1986 to 2002. On his selection as a district and session judge, he entered the judicial service on 21/8/2002 and worked as the first additional district judge at Khammam, presiding officer of Andhra Pradesh Waqf Tribunal at Hyderabad, additional director of Andhra Pradesh Judicial Academy at Secunderabad, additional district judge in Guntur district, principal district judge in Nizamabad, and twice as registrar of this court, the first time from 14/2/2010 to 23/4/2013 in the High Court of Andhra Pradesh before bifurcation, and again from 1/7/2015 to 16/1/2017 in the High Court of Judicature at Hyderabad for the state of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh at Hyderabad. He was elevated as a judge of the High Court of Judicature at Hyderabad and assumed charge with effect from 17/1/2017. My association with Brother Justice Dr. Shameem Akther is of recent times when I came to this High Court in last year, October. I found in him all the qualities of a judge: courtesy, soberness, capacity to take decisions both on the judicial and administrative sides, and his sense of fairness and impartiality. He is conscious that judicial activism and judicial restraint are two sides of the same coin. He is a stickler with the rules, but at the same time, he is a liberal person. He has a tough exterior, but there is a softer side to him as well. Be it in the full court meetings or in the administrative committee meetings, we always benefited from his sound, free and frank opinion. During his tenure in this court, registry has informed me that Dr. Justice Shameem Akther has disposed of in all 15,996 main cases, including a large number of division bench matters. The law reports are a testimony to the competence and caliber of Dr. Justice Shameem Akther. I thought of referring to a few of the judgments, but Learned Advocate General has referred to quite a few of them. Therefore, I would not like to burden you with referring to and repeating the judgments. Of course, I cannot resist to refer to two of the judgments which my friend had delivered in the course of his stint in the High Court. In the case of Far and Par India Private Limited versus Galt Pharma Exports Private Limited, my brother was dealing with the scope of Article 227 of the Constitution of India. In the facts of that case, he held, here it is apt to mention that the scope of the High Court under Article 227 of the Constitution of India is very narrow. The High Court, in exercise of its power under Article 227 of the Constitution of India, should interfere with an order only to keep the tribunals and the courts subordinate to it within the bounds of their authority, and to ensure that law is followed by such tribunals and courts by exercising jurisdiction which is vested in them, and by not declining to exercise the jurisdiction which is vested in them, Apart from the above, High Court can interfere in exercise of its powers of superintendence when there has been a patent perversity in the orders of the tribunals and the courts subordinate to it, or where there has been a gross and manifest failure of justice or the basic principles of natural justice has been flouted. One more judgment is in the case of IDPL Employees Cooperative Housing Society, where Justice Akhtar had dealt with the scope of judicial review under Article 226 of the Constitution of India. He said, and I quote, "It is apt to state that administrative decisions are subject to judicial review under Article 226 of the Constitution of India on the grounds of perversity, patent illegality, irrationality, want of power to take the decision, and procedural irregularity. Except on these grounds, administrative decisions cannot be interfered with in exercise of the extraordinary power of judicial review. However, a decision is vitiated by irrationality if the decision is so outrageous that it is in defiance of all logic, when no person acting reasonably could possibly have taken the decision having regard to the material on record. A decision may sometimes be set aside and quashed under Article 226 on the ground of illegality. This is when there is an apparent error of law on the face of the decision which goes to the root of the decision, and in other words, an apparent error, but for which the decision would have been otherwise. Judicial review under Article 226 is directed not against the decision per se, but the decision-making process. Of course, a patent illegality and an error apparent on the face of the decision, which goes to the root of the decision, may vitiate the decision-making process. During his tenure as a judge of this court, Brother Justice Shameem Akther not only maintained good relations with the bar, but also strengthened the relationship between the bar and the bench. He was equally a good administrator as a district judge and later as a registrar of this court. On the eve of his farewell, I, on my behalf and on behalf of the judicial fraternity of the state of Telangana, pray God Almighty to shower His blessings on Dr. Shameem Akther, his better half, Srimati Ghazala Anjum, his daughter, Ms. Husna Shabnam, his son, Jishan Akhtar, and wisdom, good health and happiness. While bidding him farewell, we all request him that he will maintain and continue his relationship with the High Court and enable us to benefit from his sound advice. My only regret, I should have met him earlier, but it's always said better late than never. My best wishes to Brother Justice Shameem Akther. God bless you.
My Lord, the Chief Justice Sri Ujjwal Bhuyan Garu, my esteemed colleagues on bench, Sri Bandar Shiva Nanda Prasad, learned Advocate General, Sri J. Ramchandra Rao, learned Additional Advocate General, Sri A. Narasimha Reddy, Chairman, Bar Council of Telangana, Sri V. Raghunath, President, Telangana High Court Advocates Association, Sri Gadi Praveen Kumar, Deputy Solicitor General of India, Sri C. Pratap Reddy, Land Public Prosecutor, Srimati K. Sujana, Registrar General, Srimati K. Sai Rama Devi, Registrar Vigilance, Sri Nandikonda Narsingh Rao, Law Secretary, Sri D. Ramakant, Registrar Recruitment, Sri S. Srinivas Reddy, Registrar Judicial 1, Sri K. Gangadhar Rao, Registrar Judicial 2, Sri T. Venkateshwar Rao, Registrar IT cum CPC, Sri V. Ramesh, Registrar Management, Sri P. Sridhar Rao, Registrar Protocol OSD, in charge. Learned Special Government Pleaders, members of Bar Council of Telangana, senior advocates, law officers of State of Telangana, members of bar, joint registrars, deputy registrars, assistant registrars, section officers, and staff of this Hon'ble High Court, my family members, relatives, friends, my wife Ghazala Anju, ladies and gentlemen, a warm good afternoon to one and all. I am beholden for the kind words that my Lordship, the Chief Justice, and the learned Advocate General have spoken about me. On this last working day of my tenure as a judge, my heart is full of mixed feelings. I strongly believe that judgeship is a divine function. The esteemed position of a judge is challenging as it is coupled with a sense of immense satisfaction in rendering justice to needy. The basic foundation lies on the principles of upholding the truth. It has been an incredible individual journey over these years. I had my own share of sweet and bitter experiences. Like life takes turns at different stages. My life experience can be compared to a roller coaster ride. I was born and brought up in Nalgonda district. I had faced many challenges in the initial stages of my life. The basic facilities that we enjoy today were luxuries back then. Educational facilities, medical facilities, access to judicial system were not as easily approachable as they are today. I had faced many tough moments, but I learned to turn adversities into booms and grabbed the opportunities with sheer dedication and hard work. I had seen my father, late John Mohammed Sahab, working hard day and night. This helped me to encounter the obstacles of my unpredictable career. My bittersweet childhood memories remain my strength till date. They also add up to my moments of joy. I literally follow a couple of teachings I had learned in my childhood. My favorite dohas are Surdas and Kabir Das. Mali sinche saughuda, rutu aaye phalo hai. How the life goes on. I am proud to underline that my parents instilled strong values in me. I learnt a lot from them in my formative years. If I had picked up any honesty and steadfastness from my father, the credit of perseverance and resilience goes to my mother. During my growing up years, I was greatly inspired by the biographies of Booker T. Washington and Mahatma Gandhi and others that I read. In the course of time, I developed a strong desire to serve the society. Owing to many factors, pursuing a career in law was my first choice. I pursued law from Nagpur University College of Law. I thank my professor, Dr. A. Lakshminath, the then head of the Department of Law. When I pursued law, who inspired and infused good values in me. My long association with my professor is unforgettable because of the good teachings of my teachers, lecturers, and professors who taught me at different levels. I could gain something in my life. I began my career as an advocate at my native place, Nalgonda, on 21st August 1986. My journey of practice came to a halt on 20th August 2002 when I was selected as a district and sessions judge. I served in various capacities as first additional district judge at Khammam, presiding officer of the then Andhra Pradesh of Tribunal at Hyderabad, additional director of the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh Judicial Academy at Secunderabad, additional district judge, Narsaraopeta, Guntur district, principal district and session judge, Nizamabad, and Registered Judicial High Court of Judicature at Hyderabad. On 17 January 2017, I was elevated as judge of this Hon'ble High Court on the recommendations made by the Collegium consisting of Honorable Sri Justice Dilip Babasaheb Bhosle, Honorable Sri Justice Ramesh Ranganathan, and Honorable Sri Justice G. Chandraya. I firmly believe that the role of a judge is both onerous as well as sanctimonious. It is obligatory upon a person holding such esteemed office as a judge to discharge judicial function in public interest coupled with judicial transparency and honesty. The position of a judge demands application of justice for social betterment clustered with duty-mindedness in terms of loyalty, sincerity, accountability. Care must be taken at each step to remain impartial towards the litigants. It may be noted that the sacredness of judgeship lies with reasonable diligence and factual reason-based decision making. Although my entire tenure, I strive hard to be away from any prejudice. As a judge, I have dealt with a number of cases which force me to ponder upon where the society is heading today. It is not the responsibility of lawmakers alone to bring change in the society by reforming the rules or making constitutional amendments, but the citizens too need to strive to shun unethical practices and discrimination in any form. Today, our society needs to understand principles of law in the right spirit and use it as a weapon in the right sense. Improper approach results in unrest in the society. It is the duty of every individual to be open-minded in embracing change for the betterment of the society at large. Working with senior honorable judges was a great learning experience to me. I have very fond memories of working with all my previous Chief Justices. I pay my sincere gratitude to all the learned Chief Justices with whom I work and under whom I was there. That is Honorable Sri Justice Nisar Ahmed Kakru, Honorable Sri Justice Madan B. Lokur, Honorable Sri Justice Pinaki Chandra Ghosh, Honorable Acting Chief Justice Dilip Babasaheb Bhosle, Honorable Acting Chief Justice Ramesh Ranganathan, Honorable Sri Justice T.N.V. Radhakrishnan, Honorable Sri Justice Raghavendra Singh Chauhan, Honorable Justice Ms. Hima Kohli, and Honorable Justice Satish Sharma Garu. I have great respect for the present Chief Justice Mr. Ujjwal Bhuyanji for being kind, generous, hospitable, and affectionate towards me and my family. Thank you, sir. I had the benefit of being in the company of senior learned colleagues on the bench whose support and generosity can never be forgotten at all. Sitting in division benches was a rewarding and engaging experience in the company of brother judges. I can proudly state that this High Court will not only remain an integral part of my career, but will always remain as a prominent part of history for both its historical and judicial significance. The aesthetical architectural monument that commences functioning in 1920 as Adalat-e-Alia Usmania not only reminds us of its heritage but also the ethical, legal, and constitutional morality this is being carried for decades. I am proud to be a part of this honorable court, which has always been on the forefront in protecting the constitutional rights of people, even when the whole country was shut down during deadly pandemic. This High Court was functioning robustly. It is my firm belief that the legal system can only function with the cooperation of the bar and the bench and dedicated staff. The great strength of the judiciary is the faith of the people in justice delivery system. It is said that the dead cannot cry out for justice. It is a duty of the living to do so for them. The independence of judiciary is paramount to maintain rule of law and to those who knock the doors of justice. A strong judiciary is one among the assets of democracy. Having great bearing on the lives of people, senior lawyers are to build the legal fraternity and are indispensable for effective dispensation of justice. At the same time, junior lawyers, being torchbearers of the fraternity, are the future, with a great role with immense significance for uplifting of judicial delivery system. My dear young lawyers, members, hard work is the key to success. There is no shortcut. So please work hard with devotion. Your work must start from commitment with diligence to acquire excellence. In this profession, it is possible that you may not achieve what you want at the moment, but with constant effort and hard work, you will achieve something great which you would not have expected. In the journey to build the legal fraternity, the advocates, be it junior or senior, must follow the ethics, moral values, time management, and technological advancement. With the experience gained by all of us on account of surge of COVID-19 pandemic, the technology become a tool in dispensation of justice. So, I earnestly suggest the juniors to show respect to senior members of bar. The senior members accept the juniors as members of their family and to work in tandem to achieve the professional excellence with great ethical standards. I hope and trust that the senior advocates would give their fullest support to develop the institution and to bring it up on a high pedestal. I may also add that judicial officers are the flag bearers of the legal profession. The duty of a judge is to impart justice fairly and with utmost sincerity and honesty. Judicial officers are one of the strongest pillars of justice delivery system. They must have the quality of patience, understanding, and courtesy. It is obligatory upon the judicial officers to discharge their duties with integrity and uphold the constitutional values for effective dispensation of justice. I also had the privilege of working with the staff of this Honorable High Court in my stint as Registered Judicial with their rich experience. They have rendered their fullest cooperation. My sincere advice to the staff of this Honorable High Court is to work with honesty, devotion, and make optimum use of technology to facilitate the functioning of the courts. It has been my honor and privilege to remain associated with Telangana State Judicial Academy while I was working as a district judge and also at present. I thank Srimati E. Tirumala Devi, Director, Telangana State Judicial Academy, for providing her valuable assistance to perform my duty as President. I also thank all the staff members for their support. I am forever grateful to my parents, late Sri John Muhammad and late Srimati Rahimunisa Begum. Without their prayers and support, I could not have reached this stage. My wife Ghazala Anjum has been very supportive and receptive at each step in my days of advocacy and also in my tenure as a judge. She took good care of my children in my presence and absence and during my busy schedules. I thank you, Madam Ghazala Anjum, for your kindness, patience, and strong values that you hold. My living children, Husna, Shabnam, and Zishan Akhtar, groomed themselves well and stood independent, though I could not spare much time with them. I thank my son-in-law, daughter-in-law, and my grand dear Ayan for the care and affection being showered on me. I deeply thank all my relatives and well-wishers who supported me and remembered me in their prayers. I thank the learned Registrar General and all the learned registrars of this court for rendering invaluable service. I would be failing in my duty if I don't place on record the valuable service rendered by my personal staff attached to my office and residence. Particularly, my personal secretaries, Mr. B.V.A. Vijay and Mr. S. Chandrasekhar, court officers, Mrs. B.G. Vaijayanti, court masters, Mrs. M. Dhanalakshmi, Mrs. S. Sirisha Paparaju, Sri K. Narendra Kumar, Joint Registrar Buildings, staff of J. Special Administration Section, Sri K. Nagendra, Section Officer and Overseer, Chamber Staff, Mr. Lakshman, Mr. Siraj, Mr. Sheikh Shafi, Bungalow Staff, Mrs. Bhagyama, Mr. Mahendra Prasad, Mr. Hari Krishna, Mrs. Farhana, Mrs. Jayasri, and all those who work for me and my family. Gunmen Imroz Khan and Mr. Isa Ali. Drivers, Mr. Mohsin, Mr. Srinivas, and Mr. Jamil, and all others. I also thank to Special Protection Force of Telangana State for providing security to my official residence and my office throughout my tenure. I would also like to thank all the protocol staff, namely Dr. Sriman Narayana, Mr. Jayachandra Reddy, Mr. Srinivas, Mr. Khadar, who were available to assist me in me and my family during travels. I also thankful to the doctor placed at High Court premises. I thank the medical staff, Mr. Vijay Bhaskar, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Pandu, who attended the medical duties whenever my family and I visited hospitals. As I hang up my robes, I express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone for all the kindness, support, and good wishes, and I am leaving this great institution with lot of happiness, contentment, goodwill, and fond memories. Almighty has been very kind to me, and I am very grateful for the blessings He showered upon me and my family. I never intended to hurt anybody in discharge of my judicial functions and also other administrative work. If I have caused any inconvenience, annoyance, or any kind of pain, or unknowingly, I never intended to do so. I am of the opinion that, in spite of lapses on my part, I am extended the best support and cooperation from the members of the Bar Association and also staff of this High Court and other courts for causing inconvenience or any omission and commissions. I apologize for the same. Kindly excuse me for my lapses. Before I conclude, with great contentment, I share with you that one thing that is constant is in life, that is change. We have to embrace change with open arms and move ahead with hope for better and peace. I am one among those who believe firmly that the journey of life would not halt with retirement. I am always at the disposal of this great institution, which can utilize my services as and when required. I wish everyone success, good health, happiness, and a very happy new year in advance. Thank you one and all. Jai Hind.